Good evening. My name is Jenna Brownson. I'm the chair of the Board of Library Trustees, and we are here for our regular October meeting. We're going to begin the meeting by seeing if there's any communication. Sorry, I saw with the numbers. No correspondence? No. Okay then. So we're going to turn to public participation. There are two people here with us tonight. We will start with the young man in the blue shirt in front of the microphone. Could you share who you are?
I'm Caleb Church, and I'm applying for the Library Scholarship Fund.
Excellent. We're very happy to have received your application. We all want to look at the next page in our packet. It shows Caleb's contact information and
his essays on the back sheet.
And his essays on the back sheet.
What trails did you work on?
I worked on some trails in Maine, or well, we built a trail in Maine. I don't remember the name, but in New Hampshire we fixed a trail that goes up to Mount Carnegie. So I forget the name, but that was a fun experience.
Both of my kids did the trail camp and loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
Charlie did that too, Cardigan.
Yeah, it's a good trail.
Okay. I would like to ask, so with respect to your schoolwork, any sort of athletics you participate in, other extracurricular activities, do you think that between now and the end of July that you'll have enough time to dedicate to coming to the library and learning from our staff as to how you could be helpful?
Yeah, definitely. This was a great opportunity because I play 3 seasons of sports, and I didn't have enough time for a regular job, but with this, I knew the hours I could do, and it just worked perfectly with my schedule. So,
Terrific.
yeah.
You will have a contact at the library if you're chosen, which it seems pretty likely will happen. If you're chosen, because we do have to vote, you'll have a contact and you can coordinate if you're going to come in on a regular basis, and thereafter you can use that person as to answer questions and whatnot. So,
Thank you.
okay. Any other thoughts or questions from the board?
I'm just curious, how did you hear about the scholarship?
My dad told me about it, and that's where I first learned about it.
Did he visit the library and see it? Or I mean, we put it in a number of different areas. I'm just curious.
He's a former trustee.
Oh, okay.
That also is a way
Oh, it's
to
Peter.
hear about it. It's
Peter,
Peter.
all right.
Peter and Caleb are related.
It's been a long week.
It has been a long week. All right then. So you're available. You're willing. You're you can lift heavy books. That's good. Which exactly. Is always a good thing. So I am happy to hear a motion as to selecting Caleb as our worker bee for the next many months.
I'll make a motion to accept Caleb Church's as our Ray Grandy Scholarship nominee for 2018.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Well, congratulations. You will be contacted by, I think Sam will send you.
You know Andy Kern?
Yes.
Yeah, she'll be the one who will be helping you.
That doesn't change your mind. So she'll contact you, Caleb, and you can begin to set up a schedule for what works with your life.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
We'll probably
really-
invite you back in the spring to see how you're doing and see how things are progressing and if there's anything we can do.
Yeah, and I'll be checking in with you from time to time.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congrats.
And there are cookies, if you want a cookie before you go.
Thank you.
Or 2 or 3, I mean, as many as you like. Okay, Okay, I see another face in the crowd. Do you want to, Judy, would it be helpful if she came up? Yeah, could you come up to the microphone? Thank you.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Jen Banks, and I've been working with the fundraising committee for the new library building. And so I just wanted to come tonight and give a little update on a couple of things that have happened since the last time we had our meeting. So this week, we submitted our first application. It wasn't exactly a grant, but kind of a grant. There's some money attached to it, about $5,000, but really it's a national medal for museum and library service. It's very prestigious. If you win it, you get, there's 10 museums and libraries selected each year. And there's an award ceremony in DC, and it's presented by the First Lady in past years. I don't know what it's going to be going forward. But anyway, so we submitted our application on behalf of the library, going above and beyond expected service to the community. And so fingers crossed, we'll hear in the spring. So that'll be exciting. And I just want to mention, too, that Katrina Hagberg was so tireless in pulling this together. It was a busy week for so many people, and she just didn't give up, and she kept going. So she's a great grants committee leader. And then I had a question about an after-hours event. So there was an idea that the committee had to do sort of a I stay up past my bedtime event at the library, where kids can go and maybe until 9 p.m. or something, and it'll be a little bit dark and maybe pillows, that sort of thing. Not a sleepover, but something like that. And it would be maybe a little bit of fundraising, but a lot of awareness and just, community goodwill. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to bring that up to the trustees and see if that was something that, well, if Sam thought that that was a horrible idea, then we probably shouldn't go forward with it. And if the trustees have any concerns or any suggestions, anything like that.
No, I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What
age? What ages?
8 to, 7 to 11 maybe, that sort of youngish. Not teen, not too little. I don't know. It's flexible. Any suggestion? I think that old enough to be able to read on their own, and not so old that there's going to be concerns about, them getting bored and doing things they shouldn't.
I think it sounds great.
Great.
Is there a time or date, or not time, but a date that you're looking to do it, or is there an ideal?
So the only concern I have is that right now there's a lot of staff turnover. We had someone just resign, and we have another staff that's going on maternity leave soon, and I'm going to have surgery soon. So we'd like to have it a little later rather than sooner, but we have no problem. I have no problem with it.
Do we know how much staff we'll need versus, what the trustees or the friends could
Depends
fill
on how
in?
many kids there are.
We could volunteer.
Or if the trustees want to volunteer, that's fine too, or the friends, or the committee members. But, so that's the only concern I had. So, as far as a date, my surgery is scheduled for next month.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll have a replacement for James long before then.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe late November, early December, or in the spring.
Mm-hmm. I think if we could fit it in before the end of the year, it would be ideal, and really as early as possible, because the awareness is partly to try to get people to know about the $90,000 matching grant. So if we could do that, it'll be part of our plan to try to get at least as much money as possible in the door before December 31.
Okay.
But,
Yeah,
understanding that there's...
We can definitely figure it out.
Okay.
And would it make sense to do it on a night that we're open until 9 anyhow?
That would be helpful, yes.
So we could have people maybe arrive at 7:30, and they could stay till 9:30?
Well, it depends on how many staff you need versus volunteers and things, right? If you could do it with, like, one staff and the trustees or the friends cover the rest,
Right.
then it would probably be better to do it on, like, a night the library's not open, so it's special, right?
Like a
Because you can turn
Saturday,
off more of the
yeah.
lights, or
Right.
you can control it better. You
Right,
can
right,
make it,
yeah.
you can make it more of a special event, so I think it's a great idea. We just need to figure out how many bodies we need
Right.
to cover.
So when I was in high school, I slept overnight it was the old Adams Library in Chelmsford. I was a volunteer. And there's just something so like magically special about having the library not to yourself, because there's other people there, but just really special with just the people at the event and maybe some like whatever special events or whatever you're reading or games or something, but that there's no other patrons there. I think that would be really.
Kind of like night at
That
the
works
museum,
with-
but
What?
at the library. Kind of like night at the museum, but at the library, yeah.
I think, didn't you guys explore that before it started? And there was an insurance issue about.
Oh, no, we had
staying
someone who
overnight?
wanted to sleep over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Break into overnight.
sleepover, we had to
Yeah.
ask town council.
This is in the
and-
80s, so it was like.
We didn't wear seatbelts. We rode the way back. Well, could we do Friday, November 3rd?
We'll have to see what staff availability is.
Mhm.
but,
Okay.
Yeah,
Susan's also having surgery.
yeah.
So we've got Susan, Sam, James,
Mhm.
and then Catherine's going out on maternity leave, so we're down 4 out of,
We'll figure it out. Do we have to pick a date tonight? or-
Yeah.
No, we don't have to
Okay.
pick a date tonight. We can connect on that
Okay.
and
because if we can
figure it
kind of
out.
coordinate it so we have like 2 of the people here and 2 of them, you know what I mean? So it's easier.
No, absolutely. And if it's that complicated, we should probably sit down with the calendar and really look at what works, so.
Yeah. Right. But I think we're all really excited about the idea of doing it.
Well,
And
good.
It's a great idea.
Good.
And any support that we can give you, either being present or, I don't know, if there's
Yeah.
anything you can think task-wise, I'm happy to be helpful in any way.
Thank
So,
you.
Okay,
Okay.
so we'll pick a date at another time, but another time in the nearer future.
In the near
Okay.
future, yes, so we can, yeah.
Advertise and whatnot.
Great.
Okay.
All right,
Can I
thank
ask
you.
Before you leave the microphone, I wanted to say thank you for all you've done on the fundraising so far and going forward. And is there anything else that you need from us? Or,
Yeah, probably. But as far as right now, I think that the top priorities we have are getting a message together so that we, when we are approaching people to donate, we all are sort of speaking the same language and talking about the same things, making sure the materials we develop are coordinated, so that's one big priority. Another big priority is everything we can do to try to make holiday giving as big as possible so we can match the 90K. And there may be things that come up that we may ask for help with there, but right now we're still trying to lock down what we want to do. So I don't know yet is the answer, I guess. And then we're also getting our prospect lists for big donors together. So hopefully that'll come together partly before the end of the year and then partly after the end of the year to boost things after the annual giving. But you guys are the biggest champions, so I'm sure we'll be calling on you as much as possible to try to help in any way we can think of.
thank you.
All right.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Cookies? Cookie?
Oh, no, thanks, not tonight.
No, or one of each. Great, thank you so much for coming. All right, so the September minutes from our meeting. Okay, haven't had a chance to look them over.
I didn't have any corrections. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I second it.
All in favor of approving the minutes as drafted from September 7th?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Henry.
You.
So David Sill is not here tonight. We do, however, have the Bartholomew report with the month ending, wow, September. Normally, we're a month behind.
Just came
Terrific.
in.
It just
Hey.
came in. The ink is still wet. All right, then. So in looking at the balances.
You have the MMDT also.
Okay.
It came out to $2,235.11.
How much?
$2,235.11. The two scholarships from last year came out, so that's why it seems low.
They cleared.
They cleared. And then the building MMDT is $346,753.04.
Ah.
That's why there's no building.
Can you say that number again?
346,753.04.
You call it MDT?
MMDT.
MMDT, thank you.
What is it, the Massachusetts Municipal Deposit Trust or something like that? Great, it's a lot of money. The building MMDT, so the challenge, or the matching, $90,000, has any of that $90,000 been distributed? Is it coming in and being matched right away? Or is that going to be sort of at the end, you'll total
I'm not
up?
sure.
Do you know how that's working?
I believe some of it has been matched already. Some of it has been matched already, but not all of it.
Okay. Great.
I think there is a number for the amount that has been pledged for that 90,000 that is in, I'm not sure the exact amount, is between $13,000 and $15,000, I think.
Okay.
Um,
But a pledge would not be
No,
reflected in here, right?
no, so there's like 13 to 15 in that number that has already been part of. We have, of the $90,000
Right,
for the match,
yes.
we've raised between 13 and 15,000, I don't remember the exact number,
Okay,
that is already in this account. Part of the 90,000 match is in there, but not all of the match, right?
okay, so if I pledge $5,000
Mhm.
to pay in the future, then that would be matched and potentially deposited and reflected now.
Yes.
Okay, all right, great. All right. Above and beyond this one statement from, and then the numbers that you shared, I don't think that there's any other numbers for the treasurer's report. Okay. All right, so while we missed David, we were able to survive the treasurer's report without his presence. Okay, the Friends report.
The friend report.
Yes. Did you go to the last Friends meeting?
I did go.
Do you recall what was discussed?
I don't have the notes in front of me, so I'm not the best person to give you an update right now.
Were you there, Sam? Could you share your memories of the Friends meeting?
So the book sale is taking place this month. Was it the 19th, 20th, and 21st? And then members have kind of preview, I believe Thursday and the 19th before that. What else did we discuss? I don't remember what the membership numbers are.
Their annual meeting's coming up.
Yeah, their annual meeting's coming up.
They were looking for new officers.
Looking for new officers, they're looking for new members.
The annual meeting's in November, correct?
No, it's,
Well, I thought I saw it was November, in something recently.
it's in October or November. I think it's right after the book sale is their annual.
Oh, is it?
meeting.
Yeah, because they have the kind of split meeting right after the book sale, where they do their regular update, and then they do the new slate of officers.
Oh, okay.
I think they're also sending out their SOS letter.
I know that I was forwarded a Sign Up Genius link to be helpful at the book sale.
Right, they're looking for people to,
I will subsequently forward that to everyone here in case you had not been included. So I will make a note to forward the link. And it's actually quite enjoyable to sit at the book sale. I imagine it's sort of like being a staff librarian, because you get to see what people are interested in, and it's always a surprise, and yet you're really not supposed to make commentary about what they're buying. So that's kind of fun. All right then, so the book sale, the annual meeting, and I will, as I said, I'll forward the link with the sign up. Okay. Fundraising committee report. We just heard from Jen Banks, but I know Chris has.
Yeah, I was at the last meeting, which was back on the 18th, and Katie was there also. We both were there. Really just talking more about as many sort of events coming up and planning, in the planning stages. I know the tie-dye program is this coming weekend, or the second one is this weekend. And they also mentioned the book sale and some of the other opportunities that are coming up for promotion. Still thinking about sort of PR and how to get the word out. And Jen gave us a great update on the grants committee, because that's gone a lot more further than what I have here in my notes. That's what I have from the meeting.
Thank you.
I think the compelling case document or the brochure is pretty close to being complete.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen the update of that, but she had a really great prototype of a brochure, like a trifold, to be able to give out to people and give information. Is this the time to bring up that question about the
We'll do,
the update on the, or revising the gift policy, or is that a later?
We have it.
Okay, we have it here.
Great, fabulous. So I think it would be worthwhile for the trustees to also share what they've been doing since the last meeting, in case they went to any trainings, in case they ran a really successful book sale, in case they've been having meetings with folks about the upcoming building project. And it would be lovely if we could all think back to our last meeting and think if there's anything in particular that we've done to that end. So, because it's my suggestion, I'll go first. On September 25th, Katie Caruth, Sam Alvarez, and Sarah Rombacher, who is the chair of the fundraising committee, the four of us attended a training in Lexington at their stunning library about ballot campaigns and about capital campaigns. It was really helpful. It was really informative, and I certainly feel like I learned some things, and I still feel a little bit badly about the torture that Sam endured by 3 middle-aged women in his lovely minivan. So we'll see if he signs up for any other trainings going forward with people like us. I'll pass it off to you, because I know you have something to share.
Oh, okay. Well, it would actually kind of tie in with the new business, because on here we have the Shaker Lane Fall Book Fair.
You can do it now, or we can wait.
I guess we could do it now, since we're all sharing, and Chris is involved in it too. For the past 2 years, I've been helping Shaker Lane and chairing the Fall Book Fair, and unknown to people in Littleton is that the library and the Friends play a big part in the success of our book fair every year, because the Friends give us donations of their very, very gently used books to raffle off to Shaker Lane families. And it is a very generous donation that they do for us. And Diane Haddock also helps with giving ideas with the theme and researching for the theme. That scholastic gives to the schools every year to make the event fun and festive. This fall, we brought in our highest grossing sales ever.
Oh, good for you.
Yes, over $12,000 in gross sales, and I think a large part of it was due to the tremendous amount of volunteers that we got, one being Chris, who was a volunteer
10 minutes.
reader for our children's story time. We also invited Chuck DeCoste and Chase Gervig from the Littleton Selectmen, and they read as well, and that was very well attended. And I don't know, if Chris, you wanted to mention anything about your experience with?
It was just great. It really was a lot of fun. Like that wasn't even volunteering. That was like fun time. It's like reading to kids is like very, very cool.
Do you remember what you read?
I do. I read Josh Funk's Lady Pancake and Sir French Toast, and I read Tara Lazar's Little Red Gliding Hood.
We were able to purchase over $4,000 worth of books for the teacher and staff
That's
in
great.
Shaker Lane due to the wonderful amount of gross sales that we made. So every teacher that filled up a bin of books as wish list for their classroom, they were able to have all of them. So all these students in Shaker Lane are going to have wonderful new books to read, and they're going to be more engaged, and they're going to become stronger readers. So it's really just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
You deserve a pat on the back. That's awesome. It's really great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark, do you have anything to share?
So I've done a couple different things. One, I did some research with how the last fund drive, the Second Century Fund Drive proceeded. So, and shared that with some of the fundraising committee members on how they proceeded. Their fund drive a goal was to raise $200,000, and they were applying for a humanities grant. That I don't know if they ever if they had received a grant or not. It was I think it was a competitive thing, but they managed to raise over $200,000, and that drive was from like '89 to '92. Additionally, I started reaching out to the members of the Board of Selectmen to meet with them to discuss the library project and what it means to the town and to get their support. So, I also wanted to give a shout out to the Girl Scouts for their Little Free Library. I've heard it's become very popular over at Castle in the Trees. So.
Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about that too, so I'll wait for my turn, but
Okay.
I'll report.
Sorry
back.
to steal your thunder.
Oh, no, that's okay, please.
Did you have anything, Katie, above and beyond that training where we drove Sam crazy?
No, just that there is another training on the 17th, I think,
17th or 18th, yeah.
at Tower Hill about libraries and messaging in the post-truth era, something along those lines. If anybody wants to join me, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wish I could go. I cannot. Great. Maybe Sam would like to go with you. All right, and Chris.
Okay, well, I'll just talk a little bit more about the Little Free Library. If people don't know, 3 cadet Girl Scouts had spent the last year planning to install a Little Free Library at Castle in the Trees. They were here at our last meeting presenting to the board. And it has been my great pleasure for the last 10 years to be a Girl Scout leader in Littleton, and one of these girls is my daughter. And they were successful in installing the library on I believe it was the 17th of September. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony, complete with gigantic scissors. If people see the picture, the giant scissors that the Chamber of Commerce has. Our friend Alicia Day at the Park and Rec Department was able to borrow those for us. And it's been I guess it's been 2 weeks, almost, maybe this past weekend was 2 weeks. And every time we've been over several times just to make sure that the books are, being properly returned, and the door gets closed so that it doesn't get wet. And there is somebody in opening the door in the like every single time that we've been over, there's been somebody taking a book out. So I think it's sort of really successful so far, and hopefully it'll be just sort of become a part of the space over there. I would like to do a little plug if people are watching. If you borrow a book, we'd love for you to return a book. The one thing that we have noticed in the last 2 weeks is that there are a lot more books leaving than coming back. So
Both for kids and
kids
adults?
and adults.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a big stock of donated books in my house, so we're sort of replenishing as we go. But we'd love to see sort of a really active rotation of books in the space. But it came out beautifully. The girls did a great job, and we're so thankful for the town employees that helped, and it's really beautiful. So we're excited about that. Other things, excuse me, that I did with kind of along the same lines. I went to the 1-year birthday party for Castle in the Trees playground, which was lovely. They had a lovely cake, and chatted with a couple of members of the Board of Selectmen over there, and the representatives from the Castle in the Trees playground committee. Just a really, really nice celebration of the 1-year anniversary. And then, of course, I was doing the reading for the kids at the book fair. And thank you to Demetria for inviting me to do that, because it was a lot of fun.
Yes. See how busy we all are? We love the library and all the things connected to books. All right, thank you. And perhaps going forward, Sam, you can insert
Trustee updates.
trustee updates. Yes, anywhere. It doesn't have to be there. It's just, I had thought about it at the beginning of the meeting and then got distracted by our scholarship applicant and Jen Banks, so. All right, director's report.
Okay. So unfortunately, James Tabor has resigned. He's taking a new position as head of reference and YA at the Rogers Memorial Library in Hudson, New Hampshire. We're all going to miss him. He was a great addition to the library staff and to the team department. So right now, the plan is to hire internally. And if that doesn't work, then I'll post it to the rest of the world. But the job applications for the internal job announcement are due next Wednesday. So hopefully we'll have someone soon. And then if we do hire someone internally, then I'll have to post again to replace that person from the outside. The library roof is currently being worked on. If you've been to the library, you've heard the noise. So PMBC is coordinating the effort, but it looks like they're going to be done hopefully soon. Yeah, hopefully.
Is this a temporary fix or a permanent fix?
With all the noise they're making, I hope it's permanent. But yeah, they look like they're doing a lot of work. On the 21st of this month, we held a staff meeting, and we also held a little baby shower for one of our staff who's pregnant with twins and is taking a leave probably next month. I work, as Jen mentioned, I work with Katrina on the National Medal for Museum and Library Service nomination. That application was submitted on October 2nd. On the 22nd, I gave a brief lesson on how to use the library catalog and some of our services to the special ed and transition students from the high school, and I also gave them a tour of the library. And from what I heard from Andy, apparently they learned a lot because they didn't need her help when they came the next time, so it looked like it worked. Also, about a month or two ago, MBLC put a survey online where they were asking for everyone in Massachusetts, all library patrons in Massachusetts, to basically tell them what they think they would like to see in libraries, how the MBLC can help, how they would like to see the construction grant moving forward next year. And out of everybody, 2 libraries had patrons that won. We were one of them. They won an iPad. So one of our patrons won an iPad for just for taking the survey. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I do have something in there about the drawer, but that's under old business, so I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
As Jen mentioned, I attended the workshop on fundraising ideas and legal issues with Sarah and Katie and Jen. The 28th, I attended a workshop on how to create reports in Symphony with Helen. And under the financial report, we're doing pretty well. We're doing well as far as salary goes. And usually we spend more on books just because we try to end it in February, March, and then we switch to trust and gift. So we're pretty much on track for that as well. And then the rest are just the stats. You want to take a look?
I had one question on the stats. It looks like the attendance numbers were down a fair amount. Do we have any ideas?
What numbers, Mark?
Attendance?
I'm not sure. Could be that it was just higher last year.
Well, and September was a beautiful month.
No, doesn't Diane not do story time right after?
Oh, right, that's true.
As they're gearing up for programming, there's a little hiatus in story time
it's always a little
on
slower.
Wednesdays. So that's
Yeah.
what you're seeing.
It's a little slower after summer reading because we sort of take a little
Right.
break.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I had one other question or comment. I was wondering if, it's nice that we did the program for those, or the tutorial for those special ed students, but I wonder if it'd be worth going to the high school and talking to the, like, if we could get on their agenda for like a professional development day and say what the library offers, with things like the tutor.com and things like that, to make them more aware of, I don't know if, meeting with just the librarian, or if you could meet with the department heads or the principal or something to get more awareness about what we can do for them, or if they want any special databases or things that we should be investing in to help the student population. I think that would be a good thing to do. It might be a little harder without James around, and so, but.
Would you also think that the middle school could benefit from?
I think the middle school could benefit as well, but I don't know if there's I don't know if the middle school has a librarian anymore. The high school has a librarian. I don't know if the middle school has a librarian at all. Don't look at me like that. I don't know.
That's
but-
tragic.
But, I mean, I would also suggest we meet with the high school librarian, because I know, actually, I know there's things that she would like from the library, and I think she just doesn't know how to connect with them. So, but I think getting the tutor.com and others, things out there that we offer would also be good for them, that they may or may not know about.
Sure.
And if you want one of us to go with you.
Speaking of the director's report and events happening, I was in the library the other day and I happened to take photos of some upcoming events that are happening at the library, and I don't know if Helen wants to talk more about them. They look really exciting, but I took photos of them. The Wire Vampire Sexy.
Oh, yes.
and the
We have a
Dungeon
vampire
Sale and-
expert coming, believe it or not, that such things do exist. He is a professor at Northern Essex Community College, and he's going to come out and speak about vampires and what attracts us to the lore of a vampire. It should be pretty fun for Halloween. I thought that was a kind of a cool Halloween thing. We had to reschedule our Old Whiskey and Young Women because he became ill. So that's what we're going to do on a Saturday in November, thinking that might attract a lot of people that don't come out at night. So we might get a little different crowd, because when we did the meditation program, we got a different audience. So maybe moving sometimes adult programming around to different days and different times allows us to bring in, different ages. We also have the pie person coming. He's the librarian at UMass Amherst. His name is, I think, Robert Cox. And he does things that are quintessential New England, cranberries, pies. So we're going to kind of pair it with the friends to have them make some pies. And he's going to talk about things like, what makes a Boston cream pie a Boston cream pie? What's the origin behind it? So I think that's kind of nice around Thanksgiving time, because everyone will get their little pie making skills out. And we could do a little display with it, so.
And there's the Dungeon Sale. That's
Yes.
The end of the month.
That's
on October
Andy's gig.
20th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the 28th.
Oh, the dungeon sale.
Yeah, that's what we call it,
See,
yeah.
I love
Terrific.
that they did.
I don't know, Helen, having a whiskey program in the afternoon?
We'll have prohibition.
Is that, the Dungeon Sale is on October 28th. Is that the same day as the trunk or treat? Okay, so it's definitely that day. And the presentation about, or the talk about the why are vampires sexy, that's next Thursday.
That's next Thursday.
October
Correct.
12th at 7, or is it 7:30?
It is 7 in the Cooper Room, and as always, pre-registration is encouraged.
That's really so you can know how many cookies to buy.
That's correct. I was thinking of those little like plastic, do you remember those little plastic teeth and vampire things?
Oh, my God.
I thought it.
I think those were banned by the FDA in like
Were
the
they?
mid-70s. Yeah. The wax ones?
Good evening, yeah.
All right.
The candy ones, I forgot about that.
Okay, let's move on to old business. Sam, can you comment to the ADA issues of the back door?
Yes, so originally we thought the money to pay for the back door would have to go at town meeting, but Bonnie was able to find some money in the budget, so it's coming out of that. Apparently they're just waiting on the parts, so they were supposed to have it last week, but it didn't, so.
But it's a
It-
fix
it-
that'll
it's-
take just
it's
a few
coming.
hours.
Right,
It's
right.
not a,
Right.
great.
Can we just make sure it's not overlapping with when they're doing the book sale?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Mm.
Oh, and now that Diane's back from vacation, we're looking into what we're going to do about the children's room and making more space. I did contact furniture seller, and hopefully they'll come out and help us out.
Yeah, great. Okay. Next item is the gift policy. Did anything occur on Monday?
No.
Okay, all right. So this is in part, despite the fact that we were tentatively scheduled to be on the agenda, my back and forths with Keith Bergman and a few other folks broke down as I was panicking to turn my phone off on the airplane, and I managed to only send my response to town council, who I'm sure had much better things to do. So it is, I will take the fall for not having this being able to be heard on October 2nd. However, the gift agreement, as we had discussed and edited and augmented at our last meeting, was forwarded by me to town council through Keith Bergman, and no changes were made. So the work that we did together a month ago, in no way, it was in no way deemed unacceptable. Therefore, the gift agreement is as we modified it.
Is that what we have here?
That is
Is
what
it
we have
the
here.
modification?
This is the most recent iteration, correct? Yep. So if you are all comfortable with the work we had done, and you're now comfortable with seeing it in the format that our potential generous donors will see it, we can adopt this, and then ask that this item be marked up for the next meeting, which is October 23rd.
So, I would like to see this kind of broken into 2 documents effectively. I would like to see this front page be its own standalone document for those that are just giving a little bit of money. If there are no conditions or naming rights or anything, they don't need the other 2 pages, right? If you go through what the Second Century Fund had, they had a 1-page document that just had the signatures on the bottom. And it would be nice if we had that separate from naming rights and things like that. Do you think that would be legally acceptable to condense it to just put signatures on the bottom of this one?
Yeah, so your suggestion then, Mark, is that this page 1 remain as is, and in essence,
Stops.
stops, and then there's this bit here.
Yes.
Okay. I have no problem with that. I imagine that,
We'd effectively have potentially two different forms, right?
Yeah.
Front and like
The
a
short form and the
addendum
long
or
form.
something.
right, so the short form is for donations up to how much? 20,
The donation-
2,499?
No, the short form is for those donations that have no conditional back to them, right? No naming rights or anything like that.
Right, so I know that I saw something that said if you donate $2,500, your name will be etched in not stone, glass perhaps, on panels. I mean, that's like the idea. You know, you have these beautifully illuminated panels with etched glass names glowing. So that is sort of a naming right, I think. I think it has that naming because your name would be there on the wall. So I think that we need to, if we're going to break this into separate agreements, then we need to have a cutoff. You know, for instance, when you file for divorce, if you make less than $75,000, you use the short form, and if you make more than $75,000, you use the long form. So we could have a similar, you know, have a similar format for people, but I think that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to not have a demarcation between the two forms if we're going to use two forms.
Does anybody, and maybe I should know this because I am on the fundraising committee, but do we know if there's so I actually have a copy, I'm looking at this, this is the Second Century Fund form that was used 20-something years ago, and they actually have a statement that indicates if they contributed $250 or more, their name would be included on a contributor's plaque. And then they would either check off, yes, you know, please include my name, or please don't include my name. So that might be something else, but I don't know if we have that cutoff amount documented or determined.
So that's for us to decide what that
Is
cutoff
that what
amount
our,
is.
is that our role?
Yeah.
But I think that's another, that would be a, do we have anything that alludes to that? What you just said about the glass thing, Jen, is there, did we say?
There is in the works, I guess you could call it a menu of spaces in the library, that if you donate, you know, sake of argument, you donate $100,000, you can have this giant space
Named after you, right.
or after someone in an honorarium.
But that's
or-
not, that
right,
wouldn't be
so-
this would be just somebody, I donated $500 and my name's gonna be on a register somewhere, on a,
Right, for these
Like a-
folks, I think they were on engraved apples in the painting.
Was that the apple
right?
thing?
I don't- I
Leaves.
think the
Maybe
apples
that
are
was
something different.
Oh, was
I
that a-
believe
okay.
the leaves were Second Century Fund record book.
Okay. So this, this contract, this gift agreement, really is more to capture the idea that there will be people who perhaps want to donate $3,500, but
Right.
when they say, oh, but I could have that room named after me for another $1,500, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say I'm gonna give you $5,000, I'm gonna pledge that amount, or $10,000, or whatever the number is, right? So, but I do think if we're gonna have a lighter version of this, because there will be no naming rights for someone who donates, you know, $200. There's no, you get to have something named after you. So far as I understand from the fundraising committee, it is really to encourage larger donations, and to have a stripped down version, I think, means that we need to have a number. So that if I go out to Henry Crystal's house and I'm talking to him about making a large donation, and Henry Crystal says, yeah, I'm not giving you a large donation, I'm not saying you would do
Paying
that.
taxes. on
But
it.
let's say that he says, I can give you $2,000. What gets named after me? And I say, nothing. that I have in my briefcase, the shorter version and the longer version in case, you know, he's persuaded into giving $2,500 and his name will be etched in glass on a glass panel in the lobby.
So I think there should be the glass panel in the lobby or whatever we're calling it, you know, the donor wall.
Yeah.
You see that in a lot of museums and libraries and things like that. But I think having your name on that is different than having your name on a wing of a building, right? And that having your name on a wing of the building is what this is talking about with the naming rights. And the short form can just say, can still say if you donate more than whatever the number is, which I think we should vote tonight, so that we can finish the short form. It says if you donate more than $1,000 or $2,500 or whatever the number is, you know, your name will be recorded on the donor wall. Right.
Okay, so that would
That would-
mesh
that
with
would
what
mesh with
The
this.
second century
Okay,
did.
all right.
They were selling naming rights too, by the way, when they did their stuff. I don't know that they actually got money for many of the naming rights
Yeah.
that I could find, but they had the whole plan.
All right. So, what do you all think should be the demarcation between having your name on a donor wall, and I like the idea of it being etched in glass and backlit, but if that means that that piece of glass is, you know, $80,000, perhaps the money's better spent on, you know, chairs. What should be the line of demarcation?
I like 2,500, but if I can go between, I sit here and teeter between 1,000 and 2,500 myself for having your name on the wall, but I like the 2,500, I think. What do people think?
Yeah.
It's a big building, so it should be a big number. Yeah. And certainly there can be additional things that are done to thank those people who donate $2,499 or less.
Well-
I mean, sometimes
Right,
you also
right.
see those on the wall too.
Well, some of them have, like, you know, smaller donations are in smaller fonts. Your name's on the wall, but you better bring a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
I would do a plaque for them.
And Judy, our technical support wizard tonight, thinks a plaque would be nice. I like
So-
that input from the public. Thank you for coming.
So-
Can you turn the camera on you?
Yes, you can.
So if you donate between 1,000 and 2,500, your name will be on a plaque, and above 2,500, it will be on a wall.
I've seen a bowl,
Huh?
A plaque on the
A
wall.
plaque
a plaque on the wall, or an illuminated glass panel on the wall.
with disco balls, yeah, whatever you
Right,
want.
like, I want the disco ball. All right. Motion away there, Mr. Rombacher.
So well, okay. So I'm not sure exactly what you want me to motion to. So I will make a motion that we take the first page of the gift agreement and create the short version that includes on there lines that say donations between $1,000 and $2,500 will be recorded on a plaque, and donations over $2,500 will be on the donor wall. And that we include a signature line on the short version on one page.
Okay, so you are asking me to draft a shorter document which makes these two things clear,
Yep.
and also, would you like a do not include my name on the plaque or the donor wall?
Yeah, there should be a checkbox
There's
to say
checkbox.
do
And
not.
opt
include.
out. All right, so I will.
Can
someone second that?
I'll second that.
Oh, right, okay. All in favor of a shorter version to accommodate donations up to $2,500? Please say aye.
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 And with respect to this longer version, which we already edited, gave back to town council who made no changes, I'm happy to entertain a motion that we adopt this for donations of $2,500. No,
So the name on the wall thing should still be on that one too,
okay.
right?
Right, it's considered a naming right. Okay, so this is
Right, so
for,
this short form is for less than 2,500.
Right.
Is that, yeah, right.
right.
And then this is 2,500 or more.
Or we could have 3 agreements,
No,
one for a
no.
plaque, one for an etched panel,
This
and
one
one
is
for.
if you want something, if you want your name on something
On
other
a
than,
room or something.
other than just the plaque or the wall.
Okay, so 3-dimensional things get the longer form, flat things get the short form.
Yes.
Okay. Karen, make a motion to that end?
Oh, I thought we just didn't, wasn't that the motion?
So this is being adopted for naming rights above and beyond plaques and panels.
And this is staying as is, just specifically for,
I
What
would,
you just said.
well, I would just add somewhere those check boxes too, right? Unless we're saying if you get your name on a room, you don't also get it on the panel, but that seems kind of,
oh.
If this were not being televised, I would strangle you.
Way to
If
improve
Mark
ratings.
Mombacher ends up strangled, it wasn't me. I would only do it on TV. I would never go to your house.
our
and
ratings will
strangle
go
you.
up.
They would go up. It would be the murder mystery. Okay, so the short version is for plaque and wall. The long version is also, I mean, I don't understand why we're,
You lost me.
yeah, I don't understand the demarcation here,
If you want your name on a room,
right?
do you also get it on a plaque or a wall?
No.
Okay, so then.
Unless you're really pushy, and then we just say, fine, fine.
Okay.
whatever."
So then this one works fine if you're not getting it on both places.
Fine, I think that we should preserve this one and not tinker with it.
Okay, then I'll make a motion unless Chris wants to, that we take this as is for naming rights for rooms. Or other physical items in the library.
Like Sam's desk,
Yeah.
which I think is up to $500,000.
So far.
He's gonna be looking at my picture.
Okay,
Did
then.
we
Was that a
motion-
motion?
Was that a motion?
A motion to adopt this as read, as drafted.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is anyone opposed? No. Okay. All right, so it passes unanimously. Thank you. And I will follow up with a shortened version to town council with the request that it be, I'm going to use the same language. So my sense is that the same language will be acceptable, and therefore, if there are no changes to the language, can we, as a board now, preemptively vote that shortened version is fine with us?
I think we just did. My suggestion to shorten it, by the way, is to get rid of all these lines of donating per year and just leave a line as the library as follows, blank line, fill it in.
Yep. Fine. Okay. I will follow up with that. And request that on October 23rd, we will tuck this baby into bed for gift agreement. Okay? All right. The Ray Grandy Scholarship Policy is the next order of business.
I thought
I think that was Demetra and I dropped it, unless you did something.
Okay. No, I did my part.
That's me.
Okay, so should we table this until
Yeah.
next month?
Yep.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and table that. I don't think that anything relative to your policy clarification will have any impact on Caleb
Right.
Church, and therefore it's not of the essence that it be decided tonight. New business, we have the first order of business is the Board of Selectmen meeting attendance.
I think Demetra brought that up, that she thinks some of the trustees should attend selectmen meetings more often.
Right, and I believe, Jenna, you agreed as well, which it does make sense as we are all on boards on the town, that we should be going to each other's meetings, keeping up with town business, and so we could report back. I know that when I went to the BOS meeting in September, they had a presentation of athletic field assessments. I believe I too left my notes at home. I might be incorrect with the people who did it, Gale Associates. I might be incorrect.
That's correct.
Okay. But they did go and take a look at the athletic fields in Littleton and assess how poorly they were, what shape they were in, whether or not they were poor or they were adequate. And the reason why I bring that up is because they did look at the baseball field behind the library.
Mhm.
And that has been deemed to be in poor shape. Now, they also assessed if they did work on these fields, what order they would do them in. And even though the field behind the library is low on the list, if our line number is called to receive the grant and it coincides with that, I mean, who knows? I mean, basically, we don't know what is going to be available in town funds with these other projects that are going on, so it's good to just know what is being talked about in town and what different projects are on the table. So that is one of the reasons why it would be beneficial for us to start attending other meetings in the town.
Yeah,
and
I think it's a great idea, and perhaps what we can do as trustees is, I'll be at the October 23rd meeting for this. I also have something else that, as a citizen, I intend to comment upon. So I will be there for that meeting. Anyone else who's interested in joining me for the library trustee bit, I mean, there should be a time to that. But I'll be at that meeting for the total of the meeting. And I think you make a really valid point. It's not just a matter of having a pulse on how the library interfaces with the greater town. It's also about all the other needs and desires of people in town, and that's part of living in a town with people who have different interests and different needs. So I would encourage any of us who volunteer to go to take notes with an eye to how that would directly impact our project that we are advocating for and encouraging people to get behind. So I'll take this one.
Yeah, I wasn't certain whether or not it would be a good idea to have just have chosen liaisons on our board that go in the event that Jenna cannot attend or I cannot attend. As of now, it looks like October 23rd, I would be available to attend the meeting. But, things do come up, and we all do have very busy lives, so it would be just good to know in advance, okay, if so-and-so who can't go, who's the next one on the list that would.
So along those lines, and slightly different, I saw that the Board of Selectmen were recently at a Council on Aging luncheon, and I don't know how often those happen, but they took a lot of questions about the future of the town and spending from the seniors' perspective, and I wondered if we should I don't know how often those luncheons happen, if we should attend and talk about the library project at one of those.
We'd have to make sure if we do that there are no more than 4 of us there, for fear that we would break the open meeting law. Because it would be a shame if there were ever to be a quorum at one of those, you know,
Yes.
and we're a public official, we're making statements about how money was going to be spent. So I'd be interested in knowing how many Board of Selectmen members were at this luncheon?
There were 3.
There were 3. That's a quorum, is it not? Because if it is, that wasn't, I don't think it was posted as a meeting for them, was it?
I have no idea, but
Oh.
there were 3, and they were talking, it would be good if we went and talked at senior luncheon, if we were, could get the invite,
Uh-huh.
so that we can clarify we can help clarify some of the questions that seniors have about the library and what the future would be for the library.
Yeah,
and
of course,
senior
that's a very good idea. Okay, do you want to reach out to
center.
to Pam, or maybe we should
Sure.
ask David too? 'Cause I
Pam
know-
resigned 3 days ago.
What?
Huh?
Pam resigned 3 days, so you might need to talk to Tina Mater.
Okay.
All right, should we ask David to do that? Because I know that he's
I will
attended
talk,
several.
I'll talk to David about
Okay,
it,
then.
and we'll work it out.
All right. Should we go ahead and take a look at the calendar for the upcoming meetings for the Board of Selectmen so that we can otherwise assign ourselves
I
to
was
those?
gonna say, would you like a rotation or something, kind of on a?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, as Dimitri said, we all have lots of things happening for ourselves. So there's October 23rd, which I will attend. There's November 6th, November 13th, December 4th, December 18th. The 24th is a co-meeting with the FinCom and School Committee.
So can I make a suggestion? that
Sure.
Just you two appoint yourselves as liaison, and if you can't make it, you just send out something, or
Oh, that's
And-
fine, that's fine.
rather than go through them.
Yeah, that's fine, okay.
And what about FinCom or someone else? FinCom's also talking about these, are we not prioritizing them at the moment, or?
Well, I mean, there's a joint FinCom School Committee BOS meeting on October 24th. It probably would make sense for someone to attend that.
I'm asking the general FinCom meetings rather than the joint.
Oh, just the general FinCom meetings. Oh, okay.
How often do
When
they
are
meet?
FinCom meetings?
FinCom meets once a month on a Tuesday, I think.
Right, so this might be their regular meeting, the 24th, to which they've invited School Committee and Board of Selectmen. All right, so does it make the most sense? I mean,
I'll try to go to FinCom meetings.
you'll try to go to FinCom. Okay, so if Mark, you try to go to FinCom, potentially David, I think he already has been going to COA meetings. He would continue to do that.
Can we have 2 trustee members go to that October 24th FinCom School Committee joint meeting? Seems like a rather pertinent one. It'd be good, nice to have 2
Do you
representatives.
want me to go to this one, and you can go to the 24th? And try to wrap another
That's
trustee to go with
Tuesday?
you? Yes.
Yeah, why not? Mark?
Sure. All right, so I will go.
I could go on the 23rd.
Come with me.
If you want me to do that.
Yeah. All right, this will be Mark. Okay, so the 23rd and 24th are there, thereby covered. And then the remaining 4 BOS meetings in the year, Demetra and I will divvy up between the 2 of us. And if neither of us can attend, we will send out a call for someone to go in our absence, okay?
Yep.
All right. And Mark, did you say you were gonna talk to David?
Yes, I'll talk to David.
All right, very good. So does that cover what you wanted to have
Yes.
covered? Excellent.
That sounds good.
Okay, we have already discussed the Shaker Lane Book Fair, Fall Book Fair, unless there's more to add.
No?
Okay. And Sam, I imagine this is your item. It's holiday hours, Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, so usually we close on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving at 4 PM.
Mhm.
So I'm just looking for permission to do that. And I just realized Christmas Eve is on Sunday, so forget about that.
All right, so you're asking to close at 4 o'clock on Wednesday
The 22nd of November.
instead of at 9 PM.
Right.
Make a
Anyone
motion.
want-
Make motion to close at 4 PM on Thanksgiving Eve,
Wednesday, the 22nd.
Wednesday, the 22nd.
All in favor of closing at 4 o'clock on Wednesday, the 22nd?
I second it.
Thank you for seconding, Demetra.
Can we make this like a annual thing, or?
have to ask every
Because I ask this every year. So, is that okay, or?
Well, it could be a whole different board a year from now.
Okay.
So, and how long did it take?
That's true.
And it got us all thinking about Thanksgiving
Okay.
and pie.
Thanksgiving's an easier one than Christmas, because you never know what day that's gonna fall on. But-
Okay, so it was a motion, it was seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Who seconded?
Dimitri.
Dimitri.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Right then, so it looks like between now and our next meeting is November 2nd. I will attend the BOS with Chris on the 23rd. Mark and Dimitri will be going to the BOS FinCom School Committee meeting on the 24th. And any other adventures that you have in the world that relate to the library, we'll look forward to hearing you share with the board and with anyone who comes to the meetings or wishes to watch them from home.
Before we adjourn, I had a question for Sam. Do we know what the budget timeframe is for this year? What our date is, when we have to have numbers to Bonnie?
Bonnie's supposed to send me something probably next week. And then I think she said it's going to be, I think Super Saturday is in December, I think.
So we have our next meeting, we'll review it,
Right.
and our December meeting will approve your budget.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in, sorry,
I'll
that's a second.
second.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:43. Well done, Board of Library Trustees.